Okay, once again, we are back, and let's go ahead and go into side view, and let's start considering our custom shape. So once again, how do we do this? We go add, okay. Oh, we're in edit mode, my apologies, object mode. And then we're going to say add curve, and then let's make it a Bezier. Honestly, it really doesn't matter what type of curve. They're all gonna give us kind of what we need for right now. I'm going to put this somewhere in the zone of that, and then I'm also going to rotate it, and I'm going to rotate it in X and hold down and you can see the angle it says is 55. No, we don't want 55, we want 90. Okay, so now we rotated that 90 degrees. Let's go into side view. There we are. We're looking at that in side view. We want to go into edit mode, so we will hit tab to do that. And then we can start moving these vertices kind of in the area that we would need to make this profile. So it begs the question again of like how much geometry to make. I'm going to get out of that mode real quickly so we can talk about this. And in the overlays here, I'm going to turn on wireframe. There we go. All right, so we had to enable it. So now we can see the wireframe, so we can see the polys that we're crossing over. So basically we're going to want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then an even number of edges to go past here. All right, so let's select the curve again, go back into edit mode, and you can see right now we've got this set again as usual that we're viewing this as a smooth curve, and you can see how that looks all weird as we get into this area over here, because we don't need smooth curves when we're making polygons. So realistically what we will do is we will come in there and we will set spline type to poly, and that will just make it straight edges. And now you can see we can sort of match that up into this area for the front here, and then we will press E to extrude it, and then we will come back to the next polygon, okay, and then E again, and we'll come back here to this zone over here. Okay, and actually it looks like the split's going to be in this area where it starts to have the moving part of the wing. So we will put the vertice there, hit E, and then we will go 1, 2, and then we're going to need a little break on the end like we did on the front one. Okay, and then we're going to match this again here. We're going to extrude, move. Remember, when we're extruding, all we have to do is just hit E and go when we're doing the curve like this. Okay, we're going to sort of match that. And what I'm trying to imagine is where this would end relative to the pivot. We'll probably have to move a bit of this at the end. We're just getting the geometry there that we need. Okay, there's that. Hit E again. We'll come up to this area in the front. Hit E again. And then we're going to leave that space for a couple of the polygons at the front. And I'm trying to decide if I want to do it that way. I do. And then we're going to come up here like this. And then remember, at the very end, we're going to toggle cyclic, which closes that shape. All right, so now we have the shape that we're going to use, and we will get out of edit mode. We'll go to move, and let's move this out. And then let's go into top view. And then in top view, let's go ahead and rotate this. And we may have to scale it a little bit because that rotation will carry it off a little bit. And it's interesting to see this in the top view relative to the side view. Our views are kind of all over the place as far as what's showing in the geometry. Hold on, let me go back to this view real quickly. And I mean, it's not far off in this zone. We are a little past, but I'm looking more up here, and that just is what it is. Again, the blueprints, it's not perfect. All right, so I'm orienting that to flow more in line with the airplane. And then we will start to extrude these out. But remember, before I do that, I have to right click. And I have to say convert to mesh. And now that it's a mesh, now I can go into edit mode, select all the edges. And remember, if I want to select the whole loop, I alt select. Okay, and then I'm going to hit E, click. and then bring this out to start making my first polygon. All right. And let's go ahead, let's get ready to look at this in top view. So right now, I'm gonna keep this sort of in line for right now with that kind of front edge. I'm going to rotate it a little bit because we're gonna want to gradually work our way back to sort of a normal size and orientation on these. I'm going to go back to move, hit E, click, and we're gonna bring these out a little more again. And we will rotate them a little more. Okay, looking good. So now I will go back to move. And then the reason I'm going to move before I hit E is that way I'm already ready to do it after I hit E for extrude. So E, click, and then we'll bring this out. And then basically one more. I'm going to scale this so we can flatten this out. Right about there, that will be about as flat as it can be. Go back to move, E, click, and let's bring this down to the apex, and then we'll sculpt the rest of this into what we need it to be. All right, a little confusing maybe right now, but it won't be in a minute. All right, so let's go back into object mode. And you can see right now what's going on is that we don't have those attributes applied to this object yet in terms of its material. So we're going to go ahead and we'll, I would potentially just join the two objects together, and that way it'll inherit the properties of the one, but it's good to just get into the habit of what we do again. So let's just jump through the hoops. Turn off specular, turn off roughness, let's kill the sheen tint, the index of refraction is irrelevant. Okay, transmission, it's again, doesn't matter. So the alpha, let's set it to 0.2. Then we have to go back in here again, and we have to set the blend mode to alpha blend. And then the other thing we'll do is under color here, let's set our alpha at 0.2 in case we're using software shading, okay? So don't forget that. So there we go. We've done it one more time just to do it. We didn't really, we could have done this a few different ways, but just again to get into the habit of the ways that we might tackle this. Let's go back into move again, and we will go into edit mode, and we'll go into vertex select, and we will select those end vertices. We will bring these over for right now. We will try to decide as we move forward how we're going to use these. I'm going to move these to the rear of the wing like that. Let's start to bring these up. And now we're just sculpting. Let's go ahead. These, I would like them to be more in line with each other here. Same thing here. Let's get these to be more in line. Same thing here. I want these to represent that cut. All right. And I'll make it follow the airplane on those for right now. And then we will do this, move that to there. All right. These we can sort of generalize. Keep the attitude of the wing a little bit. And then these we're going to sculpt. We're going to sculpt. Sculpt. And there's a bit of closing and sculpting that has to happen on the end of that. Let's go ahead and we'll match this view for all of this for right now. Let's just bring that all over. Actually, I'm going to use the move planar function there, that little blue chunk, the blue square. And then we'll bring these over individually. We'll bring that more to the front, maybe a little bit down, bring it in line. Back again, and then same thing here. We're going to bring these more in, bring these more in. And we will sculpt that. There's some sculpting to do there. We'll get there. All right. And so by the end, what you'll discover is that a fair amount of what we do in this program is the actual just sculpting of the vertices once the geometry's there. But getting the geometry is pretty important. So we try to start there and then work towards the pinky out sculpt part. Probably not the most exciting part of the video here. And now what I can start doing is start to anticipate the attitude of the actual wing over here. And I'll leave this as it is for right now. Maybe I'll move this one over a little bit. Okay, and then we can see how that's starting to look. We have to reduce the mass of the tip of the wing a little bit. We'll start to bring that in because that's more blade-like. We actually have to do that for the whole wing at some point, because right now we were modeling it more for the fillet than we were only for the wing. Stop that. All right, oop, I gotta pick box this way. Let's do that. Go there. And then I'll leave the rest for this, rest of that for right now. Maybe I'll do a little bit. I'm having a hard time getting that selection right where I want it. There we go. Okay. Now we've got that. And why don't we go ahead and close off the wing like we did last time. And let's just do, again, some of the easy ways of doing this. We will go into Edge. We'll select Edge, 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 Edge. All right, and then I'm going to bridge this. And then I will add one number of cuts on this one to put a cut right in the center. And it actually helps us on this one to leave it at the blend and smooth, because it's actually trying to blend the end of that out, which is actually beneficial to us, so we'll leave it. And then what we get for free, because we built it this way, is look, we get one of those kites on the end. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we haven't violated or broken any rules. So we'll go in and we'll grab that. Oh, did I grab 1, 2? Yeah, I grabbed 1. Oops. Let me not lie to you. I grabbed 1 too few up at the front. So let's do that one more time. Bridge. Let's add 1 cut. Ooh, it did not like that very much, did it? That's funny how that one little change really screwed that up. Let's alt select this, and then let's scale this. Okay, so that brings us back under control again. And again, we'll have to do some sculpting, but that's not the end of the world. We'll grab 1, skip 1, grab 1, and then we will bridge and do the same thing back here. And you know what, maybe I'm lying to you. I'm going to do this a different way, just to keep the bevel consistent around the outside. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go to select vertice. I will grab that one and that one, okay, and then I will say merge to center. So I'm just going to merge those. All right, and then I will sculpt them. I will sculpt them to come out and be more consistent. And we'll match that in top view in a little bit. And we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to grab that one. We're going to grab that one. We're going to right click. We're going to say merge at center. And then now let's go into top view. All right. And you can see that we're kind of far off on this one for right now, but we'll bring it into a more manageable spot, and we will sculpt that trailing edge a little bit. And again, what's nice is we'll get into doing some of the sculpting in the end. We want to keep those sort of normal, kind of pointing 90 degrees to the other edge like that. And when we did this, it sort of oversized the edge of the wing a little bit. So when we did that, where we let it blend, it sort of blended it in a way that makes that a little bit dramatic. So we'll pull back a little bit on that. And then also we want to make sure that we're considering that these should be kind of normal as best as possible. We'll bring this one out a bit. We'll start making that look a little nicer. And we'll do the same thing here. And we will do the same thing again. We will make this kind of normal to that edge. And there you go. Now we have closed that off to all 4-sided. And now we're going to join that up to the airplane, and then we're going to close off the inside of this. How about we leave that for the next video? And you can see here, that's going to bother me. My OCD is kicking in. Let's fix this a little bit right at the front here, where I didn't like the way this looked at the front. It looked a little ropey. So let's see if that's a little better. Yeah. All right. So there we go. I believe that is good for us. We will say file save as. We will save it for the next higher number again. Hit enter twice. And there you go. So we will pick this up again in the next video. Thanks.